live. What's up, everybody? Terminator Juice back with the Juice Opinions. It's been a while. So let me get acclimated to what I gotta do here. I just want to have it so I can see if anyone's watching. So I can see the live chat. Looks good. I want to get some people in here. What's up, 8 Ball? I shrank the size of the chat on screen. And let me know if it looks too small. I didn't want it to take up so much of the screen. Probably if you're watching this on your phone or something, it's probably a little small. But if you're on a computer or TV, it's going to be easier to see. But I didn't want it to take up too much of the screen. So anyway, yeah, I've been gone a while. And if you listen to the Juice Loose podcast, you might have heard me say I've had a lower back injury back in, what was it? It was early July. And it kind of was decent for a couple weeks. I was tolerating it, but sitting in a chair for too long, like this chair specifically, definitely makes it uncomfortable. So I went to the doctor. He wasn't too worried because it didn't have a whole lot of like if I moved certain ways, it didn't cause any extra pain. There was no pain in my legs. I could twist. I could do a bunch of stuff, and the pain wasn't severe. So he had me try physical therapy. What actually, the first thing physical therapy had me do was stretching and bending backwards and all this, and actually made it about 3 times worse. That's that week I didn't do the podcast. I was thinking I was going to need back surgery. I mean, I was having trouble sleeping. Obviously, I immediately stopped doing those bending exercises and suffered for about a week. Then it started getting back to where it was, but had me do other stretches, other bendings, and it wasn't getting any better. So I finally just said, you know what, I'm done with you guys, and that was over a week ago, and I've just been progressively getting better ever since I stopped going to the physical therapy. But not enough so where I felt like I was healing. So I actually had x-rays last week. They looked okay. They looked good. So doctor's kind of stumped. So I'm just going to try to see if I can't, limit what I do to not hurt it, not sit like this too long. So I'm going to try to wrap this one up a little quicker than my usual. But I still have been dedicating time to playing Rocket League. I figured I'd rather play games when I can and put up with a little discomfort rather than coming on here every week and sacrificing my gaming time. So yeah, I'm feeling all right though. Been to the doctor, so unless you're a doctor, I've already had so much advice from the doctor and physical therapists. Did my own research on YouTube, or looking at stretches and ways to build the core. So I'm covered. So I don't need any more tips. But anyway, let's get into this. So before I give my top 5 most anticipated games, I want to give my opinion exclusively. I did it on the Juices Loose podcast. So I want to talk about The Witcher 3. So let me just back this video up. I'll just have this play. So Switch has been out 2.5 years, and we all know, it's not the most powerful system. It draws like 18 watts of power docked while running, I think, even this game. So it's a low power system, and it's no surprise that it, can't run current gen games. Looking amazing and all that. That should go without saying. And for me, like the wow factor of one of these PS4, Xbox One games running on the Switch, with each game that gets announced, to me that wow factor it's the law of diminishing returns. Like with Doom and Wolfenstein, it was like, holy shit. But with each new game, it's just like, whoa, shit, oh yeah, okay. It's just for me. It no longer has this like impactful uh, impactfulness to it when a game gets announced or revealed that it's coming to the Switch. So it's like I'm over it. I know that these games can run, and I know the sacrifices that need to be made for them to run, and I've just accepted it. Yeah, I know that the developer here in their little discussion, they put everything they had into this game. It looks as good as it possibly could look on the Switch. I have no doubt about it. Um, I know this game engine was designed with the Switch wasn't even considered in the least bit. Like it was designed for 8 core CPUs. PS4, Xbox One with the fairly medium average GPUs that they have compared to PCs, and then obviously on PC if you have a great system, you can really push it. But it's a system pusher on whatever system it's on, and it doesn't run at a lock 30 on anything console wise. I'm not sure about the Xbox One X and PS4 Pro implementation. I'm sure I've seen videos on it, but I don't know. So that being said, like, I understand Switch is what it is. These games are coming. I'm no longer surprised by any game that gets announced. We've already had Mortal Kombat 11 earlier this year. That was a day and date release. Crash Team Racing, Sonic Racing, Wolfenstein, Youngblood, Wolfenstein 2 before that. So these games just keep coming, and it's no longer a surprise. So I really don't give it credit for that. I mean, obviously, these games are coming out on Switch. But that being said, I still think this is one of the worst looking games next to, obviously, the worst looking is Ark. It's nowhere near that. But to me, this is more along the Assassin's Creed 3 kind of, in that kind of realm. It's just not a pretty game. I mean, there's no way around it. Like I said, all that stuff that was all factual. Like, these games run. It's amazing that they can run on the Switch, considering what it is, the power draw, and all that. But it's also factual that they're not. These games are not pretty on the Switch. They're not like system showcases. You wouldn't show somebody The Witcher 3 their first time seeing the Switch, and just say, look at this game. Look at what the Switch can do. Like you would show Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild, or like Starlink is a very good looking game. Some other, trying to think, like, I don't know, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 I think's a little questionable in some areas, but other areas looks great. So it's just is what it is. Like, to me, it's not really like bashing the Switch. It's just stating the facts that I think this game doesn't look very good. So, and usually off-screen portable mode usually kind of makes it look better than it really is. With when you saw Wolfenstein 2 the first time in off-screen portable play, you're like, wow, that looks really good. But this off-screen portable play looks absolutely terrible. So I think that's kind of an indicator. So let's look at Wolfenstein 2 off portable. I remember the first time I saw Wolfenstein 2 off-screen portable, I was like, holy shit. Like, that looks really good. Like the off-screen kind of hides some of the flaws, but you can tell it's blurry and stuff. But anyway, it's like, it's not that big a deal. I'm not interested in the Witcher, but I'll tell you right now, the Switch would be my fourth choice if I was going to buy it on a system. Not just because can get it cheaper elsewhere, but I don't play portable, so for me, I'd want the best production or best overall presentation I could get for the best price. So if it was $20 on Xbox One and $50 on PS4, I'd buy it on Xbox One. If it was $30 on PC and $30 on Xbox One, I'd get it on PC. So if I was interested in the game, I would not buy it on the Switch under any circumstance, really. I bought Doom 2016 just because I was very curious about that running on the Switch. But like I said earlier, like that impact, like that wow factor is it's just kind of par for the course now. These games come, it's not really that surprising to me anymore. But still, I think that this off screen of this game looks way better than the Switch or than Witcher 3 off screen portable play. So I think that's kind of an indicator. And yeah, we've had some full screen, but the thing that kind of, to me, the fact that this is the official, like, what is this YouTube channel? This is the official Witcher channel. They chose to shrink it down to basically, it's almost half screen. It's probably a little bit more than half screen. That kind of hides, but even then, I mean, it looks better, but it's kind of a trick to make it look better than it really looks. If this was actually full screen, you'd get a better indication of what it looked like. And then on the Gamescom, they did the same thing, and it's just like they chose to make it almost half screen, but this is actually portable, running off the portable, so it gives you a better indication of what portable mode looks like, direct feed. So that was actually pretty cool. It's not the worst looking game on the Switch, but I also forgot to mention is I'm not even comparing this to Xbox One, PS4, or PC visuals. Like, I'm comparing what I'm seeing here to other Switch games. And to me, it's pretty far down the list. Like, here's a third-party multiplat that I think looks amazing on the Switch. I don't know how Game Explain's footage is going to be. So there are games that are multiplats that look really good on the Switch. So just an example. So I just think The Witcher is in the lower end of games, and I don't even think it's that good of a looking game in general on Xbox One. I'm sure on PC, if you had a 2080 Ti, it looks pretty good. But anyway, let's get to my most anticipated games for the rest of 2019. And number 5 is Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. So this is the Treehouse footage running on Switch, dock, direct feed. I was impressed. They didn't announce it right before E3, if I remember correctly. So for those that don't know, the Platonics is made up of mostly, if not all, ex-Rare employees. I don't know the names of the head guys and stuff. I'm sure Clocked could tell me. And so they made the first Yooka-Laylee was a crowd-funded spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, a game series I'm not too fond of. They raised a lot of money. Chris Moyles. They raised a lot of money, and it started, Wii U. They knew the Nintendo audience, and then obviously things happened. Came out first on Xbox One, PS4. I'm not sure if PC got it right away or not. And then they charged $40. For me, since the game was already funded, I just never felt that great about them charging $40 for an indie game, and I just never a fan of the Banjo-Kazooie 3D collectathon type games. However, this game is a spiritual successor to the Donkey Kong Country series. So I didn't know that immediately. I just knew this looked like a great 2D platformer. I thought they just wanted to not do the 3D stuff. I just figured it was going to be easier for them to do a 2D style game. But it turns out this is actually the intent. And once they said that, you got the rolling mechanic. It's more the momentum roll to get a little more momentum on your jump. You got your buddy there. If you take a hit, he disappears, but you have a quick second to get him back. And then if you get him back, then you can take another hit. But if you lose, I'm not sure if Laylee, which one's the bat. If you lose him and then get hit, then you die. So it's that old school Donkey Kong Country system. But I was impressed with this game at E3. And then I found out recently, which this doesn't really change anything for me. I thought it was a cool thing to hear, though, is that the base platform for this game was the Switch. And their goal was to make it based on running 60 frames per second on the Switch, and then go up from there for this is Xbox One X, 4K. I don't know. It's YouTube. Obviously, I'm streaming at lower than 4K, but so they took the Switch and basically got the game running at 60 frames per second. I'm not sure if it's 1080 or whatever the resolution is. It looks pretty clean. And then they're like, okay, we got the Switch running. Now, what can we do to make the other versions take advantage of the power? It's almost like making a game for the Switch, making it run in portable mode, and then saying, well, what can we do to make the dock mode take advantage of dock mode? And I think that, especially for this type of game where the audience is and just the design, the style, it's so much better than designing the game to run pushing the PS4, Xbox One, whatever, probably the PS4 for the lead platform, pushing that at 60, and then having to say, oh, what do we got to do for Switch? Oh, we got to cut the frame rate down to 30, or we got to make it run at 540p or something. Like, it's just so much better of a design choice. And that wouldn't work for every game. Obviously, you can't do it for. You're not going to do it for like Battlefields or NBAs, all these big games. But and seeing this, like I said, it's streaming at 1080, but on my screen, a 1440p monitor, like I can see the difference between this and the Switch version. But Switch version looks good, and this version looks really good. Like that's the way to do it. You can't, if you made this push the PS4 or Xbox One X and then tried to make a game run on the Switch, I'd probably be 30 frames per second. So it's just, I was glad to hear that, but I was already excited for this game based on the style of it, and that it's got that, it's going to fill that Donkey Kong Country itch, and it almost looks feels more like a Tropical Freeze spiritual successor than the original games, because it's been so long since they made a Donkey Kong Country game. So yeah, and it more than likely I'll get it on the Switch, but this is also something I'm going to be talking about a little bit more. A lot of these games are multi-platform that I'm going to talk about, and because I have all the platforms, I have decisions to make on some of these games. Some of it's going to be because I can't sit here in my computer chair as comfortably unless my back fully heals. That won't be an issue, but do I want to sit here and play it on my really nice looking 24-inch 1440p monitor, or do I want to be comfortable in my living room playing on my 65-inch OLED 4K TV? So, this game, I mean, it does feel right to, wrong one, to have it on the Switch, but also there are things, that look like a colorful art style like this. Definitely, if the PS4 version runs at a solid 1080 and has HDR, I mean, I'd consider it, just because I bought the TV and I don't have a lot of things that take advantage of it at this point. So, it's gonna be a graphics horror kind of situation, because portable mode isn't that important to me. So yeah, this is my number 5 game. And I didn't write down my list, so give me a second to recall. All right. So, number 4 is going to be Luigi's Mansion 3. I believe. Let me think about this for a second. I meant to write them down. So let me just make sure before I go any further. Um, yeah. Yep. All right. So this is number 4. Luigi's Mansion 3. I said I wasn't going to watch any more footage, but I am curious about this. Um, Mostly because of Dark Moon. I wasn't a huge fan of the original. Rented it, beat it in like 4 hours or whatever. Didn't really have that much depth for me. It felt like a tech demo. I think Mezati's one that said that first. I'm gonna steal that. But Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS was a great surprise. Amazing game. I loved how long it was. I liked like the extra stuff you could do. I didn't really mess with the multiplayer, but it had it. Great use of 3D. It was just a fun game. Um, and I think Luigi's Mansion 3 is going to be more like Dark Moon, in the fact that it's going to be lengthier. If reviews came out and they're like, yeah, this is a 5-hour game, I'm probably going to skip it, to be honest. But I'm more hopeful at this point, so we'll find out. I actually haven't seen any of this gameplay, so I'm curious. I'll watch a little bit of it. Obviously, the game looks amazing. Clean lighting effects look great. Um, see, this is the difference. When you shrink something to half, it makes Luigi's Mansion look even better. And in comparison, The Witcher 3, even shrunk screen, still look terrible. To just get back to that, but I was hopeful that they would really use lighting, use the Switch's power, just for just these details, like this light coming in from the windows. Um, Looks incredible, and it's just all adds to the atmosphere. Comes out on Halloween. It's just I'm really looking forward to it, and it has multiplayer, and they confirmed friend lobbies, so um, it looks better here. What do you mean? The game looks better in here than it did at E3. Are you? I'm not sure. Clarify, but I really don't want to see much more of this footage, so I'm gonna go to the E3 footage because I already watched it. Definitely looks 100 times better than the initial reveal, back in, was it last September? Oh, better at Gamescom. No, I thought at E3 it looked phenomenal. Oh, this is just the trailer. Where's the treehouse? Did I skip it? The treehouse showed a section that looked really good. There it is.
Hi, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live.
Yeah, this area.
Level games, and told them that we were looking into letting the players use.
I always thought it looks fantastic, but the only thing that would bum me out is if it turned out to be like a 5-hour experience. That would suck.
Very useful.
Yeah, Ononaki demo was pretty good. Just not enough to get me to buy it, probably. So yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3. I like the Guigi mechanic for puzzle solving. Like I said, I don't even know what the multiplayer is going to be like, but that could definitely be fun. Hopefully, my back does heal. I got my capture card. I can do some. I could do a walkthrough or playthrough of Luigi's Mansion on a stream. So yeah. So the next game, number 3, is Astral Chain, baby. Now this game would probably be higher. It's still kind of an unknown quantity for me. I love the art style. This game's pushing the Switch more than any other game. Yeah, it's only going for 30 frames per second, but everybody who's played it says the combat just feels great. Platinum Games usually goes for 60. It doesn't usually hold it, but if the reports are like, yeah, the combat feels sluggish and latency, doesn't feel responsive, then yeah, this wouldn't be on my list. But everybody who's played is like, oh my god, this combat is just so fluid. It's so there's so much depth to it. It feels great. Everyone's just raving about it. So I'm very confident in that part of it. I think it looks great. Just don't know about the police, like the side mission stuff. It doesn't look the most exciting at times, but that's watching somebody play it. So who knows when I'm actually playing it if how I'll feel. Like this, actually, this area kind of reminds me of Near Automata quite a bit. But yeah, it's one of those things. Like the first trailer blew me away, but the first treehouse footage of the gameplay, I was kind of left underwhelmed, just because I saw like the investigation stuff and it looked a little tedious and I wasn't sure. But hearing all the good reports about everything the game has to offer has just really sold me on it. Comes out next Friday, so I can't wait to play it. It's been a while. I've been playing Mario Maker 2 less and less over the past 3 weeks or so, and I guess I'm feeling pretty ready for a new game. So hopefully the whole package comes together for me. It's not necessarily immediately like an obvious like, hey, that's definitely my type of game. So we'll find out when it comes out how I actually feel about it. Because Nier had the demo, it had some good combat and stuff, but I wasn't that sucked in. So that's number 3. Can you guess what number 2 is? Anybody want to guess before I type it in? If you know me at all, you should know me. You should know what number 1 is. If you've listened to me talk the last 2 years. Mohammed's got a guess. It's incorrect. I'm gonna read Mohammed's list while I wait for you guys to guess. So Mohammed's number 1 is Gears 5, of course, Xbox fanboy. I was done with Gears after Gears 3. Doom Eternal. Number 2, Astral Chain. Number 3, number 4, Fallen Order. Really? So nothing about that game looked interesting. Number 5, Borderlands 3. I've never played Borderlands. So number 2. Guessed it yet? Oops. God damn it. I just wanted Hollow Knight Silk Song, or I don't know what the official title is. If I had played Hollow Knight the year it came out, it would have been my game of the year. For sure. I didn't rinse it like Clocked It did. I'm not even sure. Silk Song's supposed to be this year, unless that changed. If that changed, then my list is gone to shit. Maybe they did they push this out to 2020? They might have. But I thought it was supposed to be out this holiday. Let's look. I guess it doesn't have a for sure. It must not have a for sure release date then. Damn it, I thought for sure they said this year. Well, I'm going to say if it comes out this year, it's my number 2. Fuck it. So, I'm trying to think. I mean, just look at this fucking art style. Look at this fucking. It's just amazing, and I love this character. And it's the Hornet. I liked her. She was like every time she came on screen in Hollow Knight, I took a screenshot. Like, what a cool character design. Look at this fucking gameplay. I'm sorry, if you don't think this looks amazing, then I just know your taste in gaming is definitely different than mine, but it's fast. There's tons of moves. It's challenging. It has probably this and Will o' the Wisp, 2 of the best art styles I've ever seen in a quote unquote 2D game. I mean, period. Nothing. You couldn't name another game that comes close to this or in the Will o' the Wisp. It's just fucking amazing. Combat's amazing. Controls are perfect. And I can't wait. Hopefully this does make it out this year. But I understand if they got to delay it to make it all it needs to be. And this is a kind of another one. I got the first game on the Switch, and But if you know, I gotta think about where I'm gonna play it. Portal mode isn't a thing for me. I'm also starting to consider my digital purchases a little more on Switch because I'm not confident they're gonna transfer over to the next system. So if I buy this on Steam or on Xbox, I feel pretty good that I'll be able to play them even on the next, the next Xbox if I ever got it, or be playing this on Steam whenever, forever. So I'm gonna rewatch that. So yeah, like I said earlier, I got this new 4K OLED HDR TV. So if there's a version that's gonna take advantage of that a little more, I'd have to consider some of that stuff. More than likely, I'll probably get it on Switch, but um, it's one of those where I don't think there's going to be too much. There's not going to be really a big difference between which version you get. So I'll probably going to have to check out some comparison videos. It's pretty. I mean, it looks similar to the first game, but there's also a lot more going on in the background. So if the Switch version runs at a lock 60, then I'm pretty sure that's what I'll get it on. So number one. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be, people? So 8 Ball says number 1, Astral Chain. Number 2, Link's Awakening. Number 3, Luigi's Mansion. Number 4, Doom Eternal. Number 5, Dragon Quest 11. Yeah, Advisor, that's exactly it. DuckTales Remastered is stuck on your Wii U and digitally. So there's a ton of other digital games, and I don't think Nintendo's gonna make these games work on the next system. So I have that to consider. I didn't consider it early on in the Switch's life. I was just happy to have all these games to play, and a game like Mario Maker 2 I bought digitally just because that game's gonna be great until Mario Maker 3 comes out, and then I'm just like, do I need Mario Maker 2 anymore if it has everything? So yeah, so number 1, Doom Eternal. I've seen this game so much. I don't need to see another second. Didn't need to see another second at E3, actually. I just knew. I'm not even a keyboard and mouse guy, but this is absolutely guaranteed a PC purchase for me. And it's probably going to come with a graphics card upgrade at the same time. Make sure I can take full advantage of it, my monitor, and have it locked 60 plus. I got the 144 hertz monitor, so if I could run it above 60, that would be even better. So yeah, just they can actually show the fucking game. 2019. What can I say? Like, it's the perfect. Doom 2016 was the perfect blend of like Metroid Prime with like the Quake and early Dooms, like as far as fast, frenetic gameplay. You don't have to reload and all that, but it also had a ton of platforming, a little bit of puzzle solving, exploration, tons of secrets. I know the original Doom had secrets, but it was all just like these walls that all look the same, and press a button on one of them and maybe it opens up. Like this has actual exploration. It has height to the scale, like from low to like very tall levels. There's a lot of. I just love the platforming. That's what makes me feel like Metroid Prime. But this is way more fast paced, obviously more action oriented in these sections. But a lot of the platforming, is a little more slowed down, a lot more skill based with the double jump. Just the maneuverability of your character. I can't wait to play this game. And that was a terrible video. So Terrell's is number 1, Sword and Shield. Number 2, Astral Chain. Number 3, Luigi's Mansion. Number 4, Dragon Quest. Number 5, SpongeBob SquarePants. That actually looked really cool. Where did I see that? At Gamescom? Let's look that up. So yeah, that's my list. Link's Awakening is not on my list. You might have noticed. And that's because I already have Link's Awakening. I couldn't put a game I've already played ahead of all these games I've never played. I think Link's Awakening The art direction, art style they went with looks great. It's one of the biggest jumps from an original to a remaster we've ever seen. Probably right next to probably Resident Evil 2. But Nintendo's staying very true to the original with that one. They're not really mixing it up. So I'm like, yeah, I only played it once, so it's gonna be stuff I don't remember. But I'd almost wish that they decided maybe to expand upon it. But they did basically it's just a graphical improvement. I do like that the shield and the sword are defaulted. You don't have to switch them out. So you have those always available. Where did I see this? Nintendo everything. I didn't know what system they were playing it on, though. Just to look at what Terrell was number 5 on his list. This game did, I was impressed with, I never heard of the original game. I don't even know what system it was on. I'm thinking GameCube. So what controller do they have in their hand?
Your doors like that.
And THQ Nordic's bringing this back.
I know I was a fan of the game back for the original PlayStation 2, and I enjoyed it back then. And we had been hearing from THQ that there was some interest, and so we knew that there were fans of the game. But
anybody know what? I can't tell what controller that is. I'm just
really
curious.
quick. If I'm really quick, and she was quick, so we'll see how fast you can go through this game. But that's not the goal right here.
Yeah.
See if we can see some buttons.
We'll talk about some details. I remember some of the questions that had been posed before, and
It's coming to Switch.
try to forward them to you too.
But I'm wondering what version. So it's either
this
this
gives
is
you a
either
nice
Xbox
overview of
or
the
Switch. I'm
whoever
guessing by the
hasn't
colors.
played the game, like these are the skills,
is
the
the
basic
Xbox
skills
version.
of SpongeBob.
Okay, you barnacle
Yeah, it's
head.
gotta be
Do I
Xbox.
look like I'm
It looks
okay?
really
Well,
clean.
according to the Jellyfisher Field
I don't know what the
Manual,
original game looked
severe
like.
jellyfish stings can be treated effectively by applying a thick layer of king jellyfish
But I like the
jelly
art
to affected
direction.
areas.
It kind of reminds me of like Snake Pass the grass.
Jellyfish.
Well, I guess
So I know nothing about this game
That's too bad.
except that it looks a
Okay, now
3D
we're seeing the
platformer.
boss fight here.
Can we turn down the game a little bit more?
Yeah, it's still
pretty
yeah.
loud.
The overall sound volume is pretty
please.
high.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
So
It
we
has
can
not
see
been
some of
before.
the more of the that's changes nice. which we actually made in terms of differentiating it from
So
the
was this
original, which is essentially feedback that the player's having.
where
So
was
the
this
shield
originally
is
streamed
up.
from? I
The
wonder.
effect which is on the Jellyfish King is stronger than it used to be, and it's much more visible.
Let's see.
So it's this
Doesn't
idea
say.
of taking
it's
the
Nintendo
game and not
everything.
changing it mechanically and making sure that it still feels like the game, because we're big fans of that and we love the original. So there's just tons of love and
God,
excitement.
it's really hard to
going
say. That almost looks
across
like a
the-
Pro controller.
Because you need to bring joy to other families. That would be a strange
So they can
approach.
give them
Oh,
to
it's
their kids
THQ,
on
yeah,
Christmas,
it's not
right?
Switch.
While
Other
you're
people
working.
families that they want to have fun with, so don't go to yours.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a game just needs time, and we need to have time to be in touch with the fans, like today, to just
All right.
hear
So yeah.
their
Anyway, I
thoughts.
was saying I think
Because,
Link's
we're
Awakening.
one part of this, but
is
the whole
just-
process is a
it's
joint
Link's
effort
Awakening,
to
like, it's-
bring justice to
For
a
me,
legend.
Resident Evil
Someone
2.
just wrote
I never
that
played the
it could
original.
be
I rented it, played it for a little bit.
Just if
But,
you make it good. But
That really
I
felt
mean, we can certainly
like
say 20.
even if you played the original, this going to be a very new experience. Where this
Opening
feels
the way to a dungeon,
it's staying
finding
very
the way
true to
access
the
it,
original
finding the key.
experience.
It's not simply,
The layout of the
there's a
map,
dungeon,
everything
go
looks
in,
to
do
be
your thing.
identical.
It's never the case.
Yes.
So I mean, it looks great. I'm buying it. I'm gonna play it. But honestly,
Something else that I find interesting is that
If
the
I'd-
enemy
let's say I was a little tight for cash or something, I'd probably just
simple
play the
combat,
Game Boy. Or
as get
I got it
to
on the
know,
3DS. Play the Game Boy Color version again.
so that it can be- this is all
But this would definitely, like I said, if I could only buy 5
now,
games,
there is
this
another moment
this
of
would
wild
be
style.
getting skipped this year. It's hard to say, but if they had done, let's say they took Link's Awakening and then made it a 3D game in like the Breath of the Wild, maybe not using the same art style, but using that engine,
Telltale
I'd
Heights, exactly.
definitely be
Telltale
more.
Heights was always a fun
That would be a
favorite,
different
and I think
experience.
it will
This would
be
probably
my
be
favorite, even in
1 or
this
2 on my list then.
rearranged orchestrated version.
So, but if it was a new game, I got to reiterate, if this was a new game, new top-down Zelda game in this art style, it would probably also be, I think it'd be 1 or 2 on my list as well. So the fact that it's just a remake definitely is the reason that I didn't have it high on my list. I do love how it looks, though. When they're, I love how his footprints are getting sucked into the sand here. I know that's just seems like graphics for him, but it's just a cool little touch. I'm not too crazy about how the screen blurs around the edge. I think that's a little too blurry where it shouldn't be, but I like how the footsteps are getting sucked in there. I think that's really cool. So this would be number 6. So if I did a top 6, this would definitely be. This was just missed out. But yeah, so you might get Daemon X Machina. There's man, that game just does not speak to me.
If I leave this area or if I fall inside the quicksand,
Just doesn't speak to me in any way, shape, or form. What's the most recent footage? Probably this.
Hi everyone.
I feel like they showed it somewhere else though.
Now what you're seeing is I have 6 remaining targets.
I like the art style. I like the mechs look sweet.
Which one was just taken out? So I'm gonna.
And they added gyro aiming, but you can tell like his aiming is not very precise.
So while D is
It just, I don't know, the dogfighting and stuff just doesn't look that engaging. It's just kind of,
Can you tell us a little bit more about the goals?
I don't know, I'd almost rather have it be an on rails,
game and what your vision
like
was,
Star Fox
for
type of game.
Game.
Yeah, it does make me crave in Xenoblade Chronicles X2. As you hit the nail right on the head, Unforgiven. This makes me want to fly around in a Skell around another planet, or I don't know, upgraded. I don't know what they would do with the sequel. I don't want to play just remaster, but yeah, for me this kind of gameplay is just, I get like bored in the middle of a mission type of game is what it looks like for me. If this was a non-rails though, I'd be a lot more excited. I just don't, I don't like the 3D sections in Star Fox 64. I don't like the what do they call it? I forget where you can go around like in a dome basically. I never liked those sections of Star Fox 64. So anyway, might as well show off my new background. Little Smash Bros. All range mode, yep. I never liked all range mode. I know you guys are probably gonna, the N64 guys, be like, "What are you talking about?" I never liked that. And the dogfighting felt slow and cumbersome, like the multiplayer split screen stuff, like having I think I got 3 players once, three R-wings in this big environment in a dogfight was just so tedious. Like it just, yeah, I never cared for that. But anyway, yeah, that's my list. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to give your top 5 in the comments below. And yeah, so I'll try to do, we'll see how things go. When I have something I really want to talk about, obviously, I'll make a video like I did today, and then we'll see how it goes with the live streaming. People didn't really seem to want to watch my Mario Maker live streams, where I was like trying to show level creation and stuff. So yeah, I'm really gonna waste my time doing those. I think I had like 50 views or something on the 2 I did. So it's not really worth it. Yeah, it got up to 88 views, but it just seemed like it didn't get a lot of feedback. I don't even know if I have any comments. 1 comment, so didn't really get the feeling that people were really that interested, even though I do want to show you the last level I made to show you all the work that went into it. To see behind the scenes. I probably will do that just for my own sake. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's see, King Kane, Astral Chain, triple pack, RE triple pack. I don't know what. Oh, those are already out though, aren't they? Trials of Mana, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I was talking about games that haven't come out yet, that are still yet to come out. My top 5 most anticipated for the rest of the year. But, anyway, I think that's going to be it. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.